Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons. What?
And
Did I
I'm
say it
Mason
right?
Rothman.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we're live. It's been a while since we've used this studio. So and this is Project Geospatial. This is late night geo, and we are back after New Year. So we actually had one episode the other day with the St. Louis Spotlight, and that was with Courtney Miller. And that she was and talking about a bunch of stuff that's going on in St. Louis right now. So hopefully you all get a chance to check that episode out. But we're doing late night geo. This is going to be a back to being a consistent show. Now anybody can hit us up at any time that wants to join us for late night geo, and we'll invite you in, get you set up, and you can have a discussion with us on late night geo. But at least until people do hit us up, and I'll put an announcement out there every night. We will be consistent at doing this every Friday at 9:00. At least I will. Mason doesn't always have to join if he doesn't want to, right? Because
no. I'll be here Friday evenings, no problem.
Well, you're going to be starting your own thing soon. You want to talk about that?
You'll be my new Friday night date. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
What's your show?
I heard it's a sure thing, but I'll be taking a jog with the audience later. I'll advertise it out, but just doing a few dry runs on a.
So the jog is the Joy of Geo, and Mason Rothman's starting a new show, The Joy of Geo, and he's going to do his own late night talk about anything that pops up in his mind and scrolling around the world and doing whatever.
It's not just going to be late night. It's just going to be in any time when we feel like Bob Ross inspired happy. Now I don't know. I've been told no on the wig. I've asked numerous people and they've told me no on the wig. So I'm a no-go on the wig for now. You guys know that I've dressed up in costume before, so no fear. But so it'll just be a fun time with happy little tanks and pleasant little communication towers and other fun things that we find for the challenges of the day or the morning or etc. But just fun little times with it or whatever. So it'll be a good time though. And just doing did a few practice streams or whatever. But shoot, we've been streaming how many years now? So it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll see where it goes. I kind of got the idea after watching that knowledge fellowship that I told you about, that Econ Greg and a bunch of other folks. I followed professors, etc., that do education, and I didn't see anything for geography related stuff, right? GIS, maps, charts, geodesy, etc. I didn't see anything related to it, so I was like, oh, okay, well, we should definitely come in here and educate like we've been doing the past, how many Project Geospatial years? 10 plus years now?
It's not quite 10 years yet. Actually, it'll probably be...
I keep trying to make you, you just don't want to feel old. You're getting there.
People can find out where it's 2012. If we go back in time, it's 2012. And so 8 years.
It's all right. You'll accept your hairline like me one day. It's all good. It was a long time ago.
I'm enjoying this pandemic hair while it lasts, because I am.
You are. I am somewhat envious, so to speak, on it, but I just can't do the long hair stuff anymore.
That's why I'm going to start wearing more hats.
I used to like that blonde-dyed hair that I think I shared it on Twitter the other day, right after I got out of the service. Though, that rebellious hair that everybody does when they first get out.
We got a few things to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you want to
let's stop reminiscing.
So let me switch it over to the screen share option. Okay. Hold on. Stand up. Looking at your Twitter, LinkedIn feed right now, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this was a funny one from earlier. So about a week prior to this was 4 days ago. So in the last couple of weeks,
we'll blow that up a little bit, because I don't think we can see that on the screen as well. It's kind of small.
Oh, okay. Let's see. How about that?
It'll have to do for now. We'll have to work on the screen sharing a little bit more.
Okay. So, what platform? This is a new platform for us, by the way, folks.
Well, I've been using this for a little while, but just to try and get screen sharing right where it sees our faces, I'm going to have to work on the frames a little bit more, but we will get that down. But looking at small text does not work on this as the way it is at the moment. So
yeah, it's pretty cool though. It's web-based, etc., fairly easy to set up. So
what are we looking at?
So this is the so this was the Valentine's Day. A lot of agencies, et cetera, they have great social media and PR folks that reach out, and it's backed by from the top or whatever, and they keep it usually politically correct, et cetera. So NGA sent this one out for Valentine's Day on a Valentine's for GPS. How does NGA love GPS? Let us count the ways. And it was a Medium post. Like I said. And so I had done one about a week prior to that about General John Raymond, where he was saying that space doesn't have a mother. You can't reach out and hug a satellite. You can't see it. You can't touch it. It's hard to have that connection. And so, like I said, he's the chief of space operations for Space Force, and he made that statement a little over 2 weeks now. And so I made a suggestion of, after you can't see it, you can't touch it. I'm like, we need huggable satellites, that that huggable trend that's going everywhere. So it was funny to me that I saw this NGA post following up, because this was number 3 on it, where these huggable bears, or the stuffed bears, with the statement, satellites are very big, with their solar panels extended. Satellites are 17 feet across and weigh more than a full-grown Kodiak bear, 2,000 pounds. So they paired it with a little bit of education in there as well. So it was ironic, funny, but just also pressing the point home of, when are those huggable satellites coming out? I see them coming soon. I just don't know who's going to make them.
Well, and this is where I piped in. I think the Planet Dove satellites are small enough to hug, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways that you could, if somebody wants to sit down and talk about this, yeah. If you want to talk about this, like you could do it for promos for upcoming launches, all kinds of things, and that's on the government side even too.
Hug a satellite before it launches. Don't worry about the clean room stuff, and just
I could actually see something even happening at the Air and Space Museum out of Dulles, something like just down the street from Chantilly or whatever. I could see something like that happening, believe it or not. But yeah, the education part paired with the huggable stuffed ones, etc. You'd see them at conferences as well, like our GeoInc conferences, etc. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we start seeing those popped up. I've predicted quite a few things. I'm no Nostradamus, but I've predicted quite a few trends and things.
What is this, like the Blarney Stone for the industry?
All I'm saying is
hug it for luck.
Bitcoin for the win, baby. But
don't be another Elon.
Yeah, some of those audacious.
Or you could. I don't know. Maybe it'll work for people. Anyway, so what do we got next on the tab?
What's that?
What do we got next?
Oh, what are we going to look at next? Well, this was from just the other day, and this was about the 20 Israelis that were suspected about that did do this, actually. That let's go back to 20 Israelis clandestinely developed, manufactured, tested, and sold advanced missiles to a U.S. rival in Asia. And that was the big news on it too. And it was highly sensitive, as it could affect Israel's foreign relations into a rift between superpowers. If you look at Avi's profile too, he's this is what he does for a living. He actually has a paid website that you have to sign up for, members only, if you want the in-depth reviews on it. But he's worked for all kinds of folks, from all kinds of heads of state to the spook side, to etc. He's worked with a lot of folks, and he does still. So he's a well-connected guy, and he usually has some fairly reliable intel. And there's several sources backing this one up too. So it was an analysis challenge, actually, I threw out at that point. And there were several other things in his links here as well, where you can go in and you can find the links to the other products and the other. And then there was a poll here as well of people guessing where it was at, and with a little over almost 600 votes coming in on that, actually. Yeah, close to 269 and 321. India actually would probably just beat out China a tad, because they have 321, 269. Yeah, so India would beat out China just a tad on where people are guessing where this event actually took place. But there are some pictures in the field, like I was showing before. of where these folks are out in the field and doing their thing. And here, and Avi's got some more here as well. And you can see the equipment as well, the missile tracking radars, etc. And then I called this out as the white Peugeot. I think it's a Connie van or something like that is the name of it. I posted it in my link, anyways. So yeah, that's an interesting one from this week. But it's always interesting whenever you get the links as well as the pictures and all the data as well. It reminds me of some old school analysis. But I see that popping up on a fairly regular basis on Twitter, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of the Israelis and their picture right here. You can kind of see it, and I pointed out, is this the number 3 here? Is that on that POL tank that's in the back there?
I always said it was a number 3. So, but the kind of backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
There's we're talking about geospatial here and trying to find a location of this particular spot just by the context of the photos. And there's an entire community out there that does it. And matter of fact, you were telling me about an app out there that you can submit the photos to and try and identify the location based off of that kind of has a algorithm or something, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned
and I think
that.
Derek Ross was using it before to mess with it, right?
Derek Ross was using it the other day actually, and got I want to say around a 50%-ish batting average, something like that. But basically, what you do is you take a picture of somewhere, give it a fair chance outdoors, with a little bit of background and scenery, and it tries to go in and match that place to somewhere on Earth. Photos that are geotagged, etc., for reference for the bot. But it goes in and through machine learning, it goes through and takes and they have this for overhead imagery analysis as well. Don't get me wrong, and I think Mapbox and some other folks have been working on it recently, although it's been going on almost 25 plus years now. But anyways, people have been worried about losing their jobs. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting because that hint that they gave at the end of which it could cause a rift with with the superpowers, and that this is an Asian country. So I can understand why people picked China and India both, but India was in first place for where they think that they might have sold this sensitive. These Israeli spies might have sold this sensitive missile tech to. Tested and sold the whole 9 yards, and that's where these videos and these still shots, etc., are from. So. Yeah, interesting. All the time, stuff going on around the world, and then this is just a small percentage that we actually know about, through open source, etc. Yeah, so wow.
No, and exactly. So there's a lot of use cases that come out of this just by a challenge of finding where this place is just by context clues alone.
Adam, not to cut you off on this one too, but back on that analysis piece, part of it, from looking at these pictures too, even the guy kneeling down here, etc. It almost looks like there's. I wanted almost to say at the beginning like some kind of Middle Eastern garb, like there was almost like a headdress. See that white that's on here. I don't know if you can still see my screen and all that or whatever. But you see like that white headdress here, and then almost. Like not a skirt, but you know what I mean, some kind of lower body garment shawl type thing. But anyways, that's what I was thinking. And then there was another shot as well from earlier as well, where a guy was high stepping and it looked like he had something around his legs as well. So that was just something to me that I pulled out as a key ID feature, and I was like, I wonder if this is more of like a Pakistan or something like that country, but I don't know.
So the app or the Twitter bot is called WhereML. So if you can, I think it's what you tweet the photo to WhereML,
Yeah,
and then it'll respond back with a reply of where it thinks the results of the image are.
And the bot's been around since 2017, actually. Like I said, it's not perfect. Derek had a lot of fun testing out the locations, though.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if I can find an example in the WhereML setup here. Tweets and replies. Here we go. Here, I'm going to send you the link since you have the screen share up temporarily.
Oh, okay. I was going to go to Derek's post actually and go find the one that he did from the other day.
Well, it's a little bit down there because Derek tweets all the time. So
okay, so you want me to go back to which
I just sent you the Discord link, or you can go to @WhereML or WhereML.
Okay,
in
I'm
the
on the
search.
page now.
Yeah, and go to tweets and replies and check that out, right? If you scroll
Yeah,
down a little bit, obviously there's a person who's where ML bot is replying to some individual who
exactly. So I'm going to
linked them
click
a
on
picture.
it. This is oh, it was deleted. Somebody wanted it to be private with their thing. Let's see, that was
That's right, people. Everything you do on Twitter
not
is
private
public.
anymore. I saw you now. Now we'll see if Milky Heather kept hers up or not. Nope, she deleted hers too. Everybody wants their privacy. I get it. I'm giving it to you.
There's a few people like if you go further down.
See, Cool Nelson kept his up here on Valentine's Day. So it does the guess. He took this picture here. Now there would be some key ID features here right off the bat, so you're going to take your languages, etc., from the signs and where the signs are from. You're going to take the plates off the car,
Now he
etc.
replied 1 out of 3, not bad. So 1 out of the 3 locations it got.
Okay, for Derek,
right.
so he's got a 33% batting average. Okay. But yeah, so on underneath the picture, you can see the places it guessed, and then let's see if Nelson replied back. Yeah, 1 out of 3, not that bad.
Well, I wouldn't mind knowing how this works, right? If to a point where can you reply with 1, 2, or 3 in saying like, yes, you got it, where ML, or and you say, nope, all these are wrong, so you can kind of
That's a
train
great
the
question.
algorithm to get better.
That's a great question for this gentleman right here,
who created the app, right?
Yeah, he's pinned at the top, but that's a great question for
And
him.
if in case you're curious, there's a GitHub link directly to it. So I think he open sourced it.
This guy deleted his, but it said he got it right. It's Munich, of course. Okay.
So very, very cool application. Wouldn't mind.
Oh, here's Derek's actually.
Stuff. Yeah, and Derek tried a couple times trying to get it to locate his hometown in Pennsylvania.
I think he did 5 times total, something like that. Yeah, that was a hoot that he was having that day with it. Yeah. But yeah, test it out if you get a chance. Take some photos, that are from outdoors. Maybe it has some landmarks in the background so we can cheat a little bit and just see how accurate it is even on those. Maybe give it some more difficult ones as well and test it out and see what it takes away from it exactly. Now, it does not pull any data from your photos. So if you have any background, geographic data, etc., it's not going to get pulled.
Metadata. Supposedly, it only uses the
none
pixels.
of the metadata. It's clean. So they're not cheating, so to speak, if they could, which I would, to be honest with you, if it's there, you know what I mean?
Well, but it's a good test of the algorithm, right? Because
because you know what though, dude, at the end of the day, you know what that is? Some people just don't know how to pull the EXIF data out of a freaking photo, etc., or they're a grandma or they're whatever, and then they found this discovery, you know what I mean, from it. So they're like, oh, I thought it was here, and you're like, yeah, I just took the GPS data off of it, man. But just you could advertise that at the same time. It's like pulled the data from the image, actually. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Do you have anything else to show on your side?
No. Were you going to go on to what was the next topic that we were going to go over?
So I got a few things on me. So let me bring up mine.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I can always go back. I've got tons of stuff up anytime. Oh, and that U.S. vessel traffic stuff as well at some point.
Oh, you know what? Go ahead and do that one now. Hold on, just a minute. Cool. Let me change this screen share back on.
So this website,
it's not there yet.
This website goes under pretty epic, to be honest with you.
We are all right. Your screen share is live.
Okay, cool. Let me get a drink of my shake here real quick.
So this was an awesome visualization that got put out by one of my favorite guys to keep track of. Man, of course I can't remember his name when I think of it. We had him on the show at one point during the Geospatial Frontier technology fair.
Rolodexes are full.
I know, right? My mental Rolodex is full, and I can't seem to remember his name.
A note to my son and other future.
Hold on. I got this.
I had a screen crash.
John Nelson at Esri. He's the one who posted it, and he does a lot of great geospatial visualizations or map visualizations in Arc software. And I love watching his stuff on LinkedIn, but he does do some great Twitter posts. And this was one that just came out. And this is all ship traffic, right? Different categories of ship traffic visualized within
there's
Esri online, Esri's map.
data, and then I just got another crash on it too.
By the way, it's a heavy.
I'm running a RTX 2080 video card.
Yeah, so this client is heavy on the web, right? I think it pushed a lot of the resources to the.
Oh, I can hear my old girl over here fired up
my graphics card. So it's not server based rendering, which kind of sucks because it's a lot of data to push to the user.
Might be because I'm also full screen as well. There could be numerous reasons on it, but it really is. I was playing around with it a lot the other day and had no problems. So I can.
So this is just a single month or day of ship traffic. I think it's a month, right?
Yeah, I think it's a month on it. But the thing is that you can really pull out those the circles and some of the other useful data, so to speak. Because then you compare that with other layers as well, whether that's signals-based, historic reporting, even non-spatial data that you could pair it up with, so to speak, through other methods. But anyways, what the whole point of this is not that. So it was a month or two ago where it was the most liked Reddit post on data is beautiful, but it was that shot from Spire of all the ships in the world, and I think it had 48,000 upvotes or something wild too. But Data is Beautiful is a very, very popular subreddit. But anyhow, and that's just beautiful in and of itself, especially if you're a data whore like we are, and you just really appreciate good data. But what this does with this visualization here, it kind of takes it to the next level. The on the presentation side, at least, on that next level, sexy Apple side, so to speak, to it, right? So who wouldn't want to come into this and look around at it? You know what I mean? It's just got that next level.
Beautiful. I just wish they'd take a lot less resources on the user side to get the.
Now there will be some pure users too, and I get this because I'm one of them where I don't like the fancy stuff. Sometimes I'm just like, just give me the raw lines, data, whatever. You can keep your glow and keep it somewhere else. But this is definitely this is definitely the eye candy you put up for a presentation, or that you have other folks use without a doubt to get them hooked on how interesting and fascinating geospatial technology is, and just get ideas and whatnot.
So this doesn't show all the ship traffic. This looks like when I was this shows most of the ship traffic around the coastlines. It's not showing the deep sea traffic, I think, right? So if you zoom out.
Okay, yeah, let's go out here.
I think there's a point where the ship traffic just doesn't show it in the ocean. Oh, maybe it does.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It stops on the coast. So maybe the economic exclusion zones around all the or the boundaries, was it like 200 miles or something like that off the coast of every country?
No.
For all the other countries, you kind of have to just kind of wait for it to load. You're not being patient.
The coastal line here with it, because it is a crap ton of data at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's a tremendous amount. So. Yeah, so I was just looking at Texas because the what's going on there right now. Actually, I was just kind of refamiliarizing myself with it. I guess I wasn't because the screen just killed itself again, but I was just refamiliarizing myself with the port cities there and whatnot. So,
all right, hold up. I'm going to switch my screen share on. Stand by. Okay.
Yeah, but this is exactly what you want to have up at conferences, etc., or whenever you're up on stage. I mean, like, how many thousands, or not thousands, but how many hundreds of times did I have Google Earth crash on us back in the day? You know what I mean? When we were up on the stage, etc. So it happens. But you want to get the point across and make it relatable. And this is very relatable.
So I'm going to talk about real quick, just a couple announcements, right? So obviously this last week, GeoEnt was made public. So we have a save the date for October 5th through the 8th, and it's going to be in St. Louis. They announced this because originally it was going to be in Florida. They were trying to make it for Florida this year. That got kinked for, well, we can theorize a couple of different reasons, but but they're moving in St. Louis. So and that was part of the discussion I had with Courtney the other day on the podcast, and you can check that out. And the work that they're preparing St. Louis for GeoInt in October. And we're going to have a monthly podcast with somebody out in St. Louis, whether it be Courtney again every month, or whoever guests that we bring on.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount. How many folks do we know out there total?
Oh, what kind of question is that?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty. Well, they're just so friendly.
So there's St. Louis is important for different reasons, a couple different reasons. One, the new NGA West is being built there. They broke ground not too long ago, and they're under construction to build the new headquarters out there. And actually, I'll bring up Google Maps on the site. You can see where it's being built. So the question is, from a philosophical standpoint, all right, so do you think they're going to be ready by October to host this? Because it's going to be a live event. It's not going to be virtual.
It'll be interesting just to see how conferences evolve during this this COVID and mutating COVID and whatever else is going on these days. It'll be interesting to see how conferences go and how they deal with the social distancing, et cetera, and the masks. I think they will proceed.
And this is the plan, by the way, for the next couple GeoInts. And by the way, I've not done this yet, but next year it's going to be in Denver.
Okay. Yeah.
And then perfect. The following years after that, 2023, it's St. Louis again.
I think that's the first time for Denver.
I think so.
Yeah.
So 2024, it's going to be it was going to be in Orlando again. 25, it's going to be St. Louis. And then Denver again in 2026. So it looks like we're alternating between Denver, St. Louis, Florida, and Orlando.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do NGA West and then NGA really West. So that'll be that.
I guess no one wants to do DC anymore.
Yeah, I know DC's not cool anymore, huh?
I don't know. But anyway, so we look forward to that. We look forward to talking about that and checking that out. And I'll go back to, you know what? I might as well bring it up now.
Sure.
I'll bring up the, let's see. I'll bring up the Google Maps and I'll show you exactly where NGA is being built. I think they even have the construction on satellite now, at least Google Maps.
Now, you were out there not too long ago, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. So you can actually see it from here. You see this big or this square right there? That's all. I mean, you can see the space, the area from space. So this is the new NGA campus where it's going to be. And I'm going to turn off the labels here so you can see some pure satellite imagery. So this is it. Still under construction. And all this right here, I have no idea what this is. I think this is more like a construction, just temporary HQ. They're trying to work they're working out of temporarily.
Probably the Skiff Construction main building.
But this is fascinating. So they're working on this. And you can see it's not too far from the rest of downtown. I won't say it's completely walkable, but it's there. By the way, GeoInt is going to be held, if I'm going to guess correctly, I think this is the convention center right here.
Right.
And
wonderful. We've talked about it before. What was it? Number 3 of the best cities to move to for cost-wise in the United States.
We will have a bunch of stats in future episodes because I'm not gonna
You're looking forward to this. Look at you smiling.
Yeah. So back to next news and announcements. So another thing that got announced late yesterday is Black Sky Satellite Data Venture makes a $1.5 billion deal to go public in SPAC merger. So there's a lot of words there. We got to kind of break that down, define what it means. But basically, if I'm reading this right, in July, they're going to go public with a $1.5 billion valuation. And their stock at release is going to be worth $10 a share for a starting point. And I've not heard much beyond this article what a SPAC is, and I got to read up on that particular type of what that means from going public and doing an IPO. But it's worth reading up about. I actually I hear what I know about it. It's a quick way for companies to go be an IPO, and so I guess there's a few caveats to that.
Right, the big news is that they're the first to do it, and you kind of
Well,
have a.
they're not the first to do it. No, no. There's been a few companies to go through the SPAC process.
Oh, I
Apparently,
thought they were a first on one of the lists. That's why they were in the tweet today or whatever. My
I thought they were modeling after what a few other companies like maybe Tesla or something did. Like a
yeah,
few other.
from this morning here.
Yeah, I'll have to read. But there's other companies that have gone through a similar process, I guess.
I want to say they were the first
Right, there you go, right there. Like other examples of space related SPAC deals include Virgin Galactic and Astra.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So Black Sky has their own constellation of satellites. They're trying to establish a constellation of 30 satellites, according to the article and their website. And their goal is to get high resolution imagery every 30 minutes, day or nighttime. So
The coverage market worldwide is turning into something fierce, and it's something honestly that the community should be aware of. Because it's moving to that quite literally that near real time aspect where you're going to be able to task a satellite anywhere in the world and get coverage.
well, right now, it's
covered.
what's the painting the world concept, and Planet does that right now. And Planet is fascinating because you don't really have to task the satellite; you just have to
Oh,
basically log in, and the next day, the
I'm,
images are
I'm just talking about the
already
not
updated.
Planet alone. Yeah, Planet's off like a prom dress. Their future plans are crazy too. There's just so many other startups that are developing right now that are doing the micro satellites. It's going to be the world's going to be quite literally covered in various sensors, and there's a lot of pros to that. I know some folks are going to start singing, the "Somebody's Always Watching Me" song, but at the end of the day, you can do so much with that data that yeah, why not go for it?
Now, as far as I want to go through a list of see how many actual, I didn't really put much thought in this. How many actual satellite imagery companies are actually public? I know Maxar is. I don't know. I have to look on the top of my head what if Planet is or not.
Yeah,
Um, but I want to kind of do a quick survey of how many of them are public and
yeah,
go from there because there isn't very many of them. There isn't very many public
cool.
satellite imagery companies. So
Yeah, are you
this
looking
is
that up?
interesting on that front. I
Hold
mean,
on.
one of the big European imagery providers coming out of it's Airbus, and Airbus is public, right? So, but they're a major defense contractor that doesn't rely just on satellite imagery. They actually rely on lots of other things, right? So,
Yeah, I don't have the stats up in front of me right now, but yeah.
So the next thing I'm going to talk about, just flipping topics here real quick. Google Maps will now let you pay for public transportation and parking through its app. So this was
What?
released a few days ago. And what's interesting is it's integrated services such as the Passport and Park mobile app into Google Maps directly. So you actually, if you bring up the parking spot or simply tap on Pay to Park button on your destination, and you can pay directly through Google Maps, you don't have to actually download the app.
Yeah,
So that's impressive. It saves you some trouble. So I'm not sure how much of an integration, like you have to like connect the accounts in the background or something like that. But at least that's because it is a pain to download yet another app that maybe runs in the background and
I
hogs down
know.
your. But the other thing is, I didn't read.
We always love the Google integration.
But the public transportation thing is a really cool thing too. So I guess that works in places like San Francisco Bay Area right now. But I guess they're going to expand to looks like 80
Typical
80
test track.
transit systems around the world, Google says, which will be
How many?
great because 80 eventually. I'm not, it doesn't say where.
That's big. No, that's huge. That's great.
So London's Oyster card, San Francisco's Clipper card. So they're public transportation systems, and that's good too because it's not always easy to fumble around if you're new to the city, which public transportation app to use, or try to figure out how to do it on the fly, right? So
Yeah, transportation's really evolving. It's great how GIS is playing along with it as well. But yeah, transportation's really evolving, even on the electric side and all these. by X year we'll get rid of all the vehicles driving a certain way, and then
There you
public
go.
transportation. Yeah, go for it.
Uber and Lyft have both recently started integrating transit directions into their respective apps. Customers who live in Denver can even purchase train tickets using Uber accounts. So
Yeah.
Google's not the only one doing it, but it'd be great to see these kind of integrations more streamlined for apps that people use more often than the individual vendors.
At this point, it should almost be second nature. This should just be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really should.
So I have one more thing to talk about. Back to our friends at URSA, who actually helped sponsor the URSA Sensor Showdown with Geospatial Frontier. They have a cool thing going on starting Monday, which is February 22nd, I believe. Yes. They're starting a vote for your favorite SAR use case. It's a competition. So it's kind of like this kind of tournament. So on LinkedIn and Twitter, they're going to post these polls and you can vote on your favorite use case. And they have 8 of them they've set up to compete against each other. So that comes down to illegal fishing monitoring, sanctions, and enforcement. So those two are going to go up against each other. You got oil spill detection versus deforestation, oil
I love the
storage.
bracket style on this too.
Yeah, no, this is creative. Their folks have done a really good job here. I
Yeah,
like
this
the
is
fun.
like
Their
fast
blog is really cool, by the way. So
or fetch one.
oil storage levels versus car counting, and then flood mapping versus agricultural monitoring. So once again, this is a really cool thing they're doing. I can't wait to see how this turns out, and you can bet we're going to be participating in this and keeping track of this tournament as it develops. So
I want to see more of these tournaments at various companies too. This is great.
I can't tell if this is going on every day or every week. I don't think they're very clear on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other folks should use that format actually. It makes it nice and competitive and relatable.
So the 8 sections fall into maritime, environmental, economic, weather related, but you can believe it, there are tons more use cases for SAR than that. But this is a clever way to educate people. If you go further down the blog, it describes each use case so you get a little bit more aware of what's going on. So what the use case for SAR is. And so for those of you who don't know, SAR is synthetic aperture radar. Radar imagery is very useful. It may not be as look from the front end as pretty as EO, but it sees through cloud cover and it's you can see things at night where EO can't. But also it reveals a lot of things that you may not be able to see normally through just this image. It is also an active sensor as opposed to a passive sensor. And you can read about that on their blog, what SAR is. And we also have a SAR 101 video we did with Daniela Moody, who is working for URSA. And we did that video last year. Yeah, in the fall last year. So you learn all about that sensor from if you know nothing about what radar imagery is and the advantage of using it. So this is a great tournament. I look forward to seeing how this turns out.
I'm just thinking of all the people we should invite to it.
I know, right? Like I said, we're gonna be tweeting this one out like crazy.
We got to get Eric Trude in there from Predasar.
I know, right? Now there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential. This actually, I wish they made this a live dynamic embedded thing, so I can grab it and throw it into different.
Who posted
websites?
Did Morrison post that out?
Morrison? No. This is directly from the URSA Twitter.
Okay. I didn't know who was behind it, or what you were suggesting, how you could get access to it. So it wasn't just a.
Well, no, I just wish that the actual ladder itself was more like an embedded interactive thing. So when they updated it, I can take that embed and it'll dynamically update across websites.
Oh, okay. I guess you want like a little.
Something I can embed in mine, but I don't have to do anything with it. They just update theirs, and we can see the tournament going.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's all I have for this round. Do you have anything else to share, or do you want to like pop anything up on Google Earth, interesting things you've found recently, or what do you think?
No, actually, that's upcoming episodes that I have.
That's right. I don't want to spoil your new show, The Joy of Geo.
No, actually, just in my practice rounds, I've been going through and fine tuning some of my data layers and other things like that, and going through actually how to start the whole Twitch studio thing and go through it, etc. And then
so this is a good opportunity to talk about what's going on with Project Geo right now. The
Yeah.
schedule, we updated the schedule so you see what's going on right now actively. We just got this is the STL Geo Spotlight, which is going to be a monthly podcast, like I was telling you before. St. Louis, it's all about St. Louis stuff. We already had the first episode, so I already have to update this section. Joy of Geo, I have to put your details on. We'll have to figure out how to advertise this a little bit more.
Once like I said, I got to work out the themes and a few other things. This whiteboard will be included, though.
Yeah, we'll work out that, but we will embed Mason's Joy of Geo Twitch feed within the Project Geospatial website in the coming days. Also,
and I'll send it out too as I go, and invite certain people to watch and all that.
So Daryl's still active. We do those show the Adam and Daryl View the World series. It's a little bit infrequent as it always been, but as we find guests, we will schedule that out. And it's usually once a month, every 2 months or so. We'll pick somebody really interesting person from the community to come on and talk about what projects and perspectives they have. And of course, Late Night Geo. Late Night Geo is what you're watching right now. Historically, it's been we invite anybody on to we'll tweet out and say, hey, anybody wants to come on from 9 to 12, whatever, and you're welcome to pop on the show with one of us that's hosting it. It may not be both of us either. So and you can talk about anything related to the geospatial industry, and we'll see where the discussion goes. So but for now, you can count on us every week on Fridays at 9 p.m. to do the show. With that said, these are not the only things we're doing for Project Geo. There's smaller projects. There's a couple of different other series that are coming up, and I'm going to wait to announce those once we dot the I's and cross the T's. But we have a lot of other stuff going on. So the main page here, by the way, back in November, we did Geography 2050. That is still, we helped the American Geographical Society with that. You can still check that website out. There's a lot of great videos, and we're going to be replaying that on one of our channels. So you can rewatch that over the next coming weeks. So I'm working on trying to get that set up. So that'll kind of play the recorded episodes. You can check out any of our past episodes in our series lineup down at the bottom here. And if that's not good enough, you can just go to podcast at the top and see all the stuff we've done, including our ancient past from the archives. If you click on this, it'll take you to, I think it takes you to YouTube. Yeah, it takes it all to the YouTube playlists. And I'll have to figure out, does it just start it or? Yeah, it just starts it. I have to figure out how to. Okay, so look, I got some mad web skills over the last 10 years, but I'm not perfect, so I got to work on this. So to make it a little bit more streamlined.
Mad web skills. Is that a T-shirt yet or no? I want to see that.
I don't know. I'm not that great on it, but I've done a fairly good job of picking up website design over the last decade. So, so that's what's going on. The Geospatial Frontier site, by the way, is still active, but it's I need to change it around a little bit. This is where I host a lot of industry stuff, industry events or industry focused topics or interviews with companies. I'll host those here, and I might integrate this site a little bit more directly with the Project Geospatial website and merge them at some point, but that's a bigger project down the road. But FYI, you can still come here and check out all the past great things that we did with this, including the Sensor Showdown, Geography 2050, another link back to that, as well as all the event content that was with the Virtual Tech Fair back in May. And that was kind of our version of a virtual GeoEnt. And so there's a lot of videos we did back in the day with our sponsors. We actually had sponsors back then. Great companies that supported us in the beginning. Great organizations. One of my favorite, the Women in Geospatial there. They're a great group that supported us. Had a lot of guests on from them. Of course, URSA is big, and of course the American Geographical Society, which we're still partnered with them on a few projects that are coming up. So it's been a great 2021. Yeah, it's kind of a tragic year in a lot of ways, but it's also been a great year for us to see what we can do in the virtual space and take off sharing everything we know about geospatial. So we have a lot of stuff coming up, and I can't wait to share what I'm doing with some of the educational endeavors that I'm working on as well. So yeah, I don't mind tooting our own horn over here because this is pretty cool, and I love doing this stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun, and it's going to be interesting, like you said, how the year comes up. But what I was thinking even more as you were explaining, it's like, and the world, the world being more virtual, et cetera. And it's like we've been doing this forever. You know what I mean? It's like I'm
Hey,
glad the world's
and
catching up to
all of
us.
you saw that really awesome introduction for this episode and the last episode. That's going to be our intro
Oh yeah, epic.
video
And
clip for 2021. I'll try to get a new one made every year, but you see how epic it is, and I'm trying to improve the video skills on my side to make it seem more, kind of up the game with the graphics and visual effects. Of course, now the introduction and outro for all our videos is so climatic that in the middle of our actual talks are kind of the boring point of the whole thing.
did we use patented music one time back in our before Project Geo, but we see DC days, and we got a thing on it.
We got in trouble back in the day. What happened was we used AC/DC music for an introduction on a series briefly, and we got like one of
Do
those
you remember
copyright.
what song it was?
Yeah, it was. I remember the tunes in my head, but you can still look at We See DC.
Thunderstruck?
Wait, no, it wasn't Thunderstruck. You can look up We See DC, and the first few episodes might still have it, but we didn't monetize it, so it wasn't a really big deal.
Don't play it on here, or this will get banned too. With takedowns are these days, you know what I mean? It's so over the top anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we eventually partnered with oh man, who were they called? They were Southern Fusion, and I knew a guy in the military who played in the band, and he let us use his riffs as an introduction to the podcast at the time. So like the last 6 episodes we did, it was like a 10-episode series. We used their intro, and it was really cool. The problem was they were all recorded shows, and it took me a week to do all the graphics editing at the time. So interesting enough, that was back in 2010, 2011.
I see. I told you 10 years ago.
Well, that was 10 years ago. Project Geospatial wasn't. Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
Just putting down the full resume. 10 years plus. We did it, but way before it was cool. We were video podcasting.
Way before it was cool. No, I think it was just starting to pick up. We just stayed at the bottom with all the other noobs. So everybody, we weren't as successful with as a lot of the gaming
audio
folks.
podcast, yeah, took off back then, and still do to a certain extent because people listen to them while they drive or they're working out or whatever.
I mean, we're no Leo Laporte, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Leo had been around for a while, and yeah, there's a few others as well on it. But yeah, the market's still it's booming all over again. It's emerging all over. Grandma's learning about Twitch, etc. over here, you know what I mean? And all the networks that we've been doing for ages. So yeah, it's great. It's great seeing everybody move over, and we're kind of moving on to some other tech right now as well. So
awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to go over.
I'm trying to think either. There's so much that's happened over the past week, etc. And yeah, maybe I'll go over them a little bit later if I do a stream later. I'll go over some stuff, but
yeah. So we're gonna cut it short a little bit tonight. We think for everybody support, and this is gonna be a consistent show. So if you like us, check us out on the website. Watch us on Twitch. Twitch is our primary streaming channel, but we always stream to YouTube, Twitter, and soon, if they ever get their stuff straight for the application, is LinkedIn as well. So, but Twitch is our primary streaming site, and you're welcome to check that out. And a lot of great news and projects coming up, and I can't wait to share them with everybody. So, once again, I'm Adam Simmons.
And I'm Mason Rothman.
We will see you next time. So you get to watch that intro video again, everyone. I'm going to play that as before we close out.